Fife Flyers TV, sponsored by the Bay Hotel, Fife's premier wedding venue.
Hey Todd, do you want to speak us through that tonight?
Well, when I thought our first shift, we set the tempo just like we wanted to. We were playing well, and then we found ourselves 2 down. And it shows the fine margins that these games are played in mentally. I think it would have been very easily for their heads to drop and let that game get away from us. But we discussed it quite a bit before the game and certainly throughout the week that regardless of the scoreline and regardless of what's going on around us, you just have to keep a level head and keep fighting at it and chip away. We made a couple minor adjustments on the bench, and last 5 minutes of the period stung them for 3. But you know what? I think it was some sloppy play at times from both teams. I'm pretty pleased with our performance. I thought the guys were working hard tonight, and Glasgow, they certainly didn't get into first place here by not being a very strong and dangerous team. We managed them well at times, but both sides had their fair share of opportunities. It's nice to see the boys come out on top, especially one of these local games. There's always a charged atmosphere in here, and I think once that third went in, there was a noticeable difference in the building. Guys certainly fed off that, and then the rest of the way out, we looked strong and dangerous at times.
I noticed there was a different starting trio at the start of the game. Kyle Just, Barry McKenzie and Paul Crowder. What was your thoughts behind that?
We changed a couple things up this week. We had a new look with a few of the lines. I thought that, obviously Cazzola, Goche and Tim click well together and produce offense and we were getting offense from the other lines as well, which is key. It's important that we got a power play goal tonight. Although on our 5-on-4, I still contend we're not hard enough on the puck at times, and that results the puck them having to break out a number of times. We entered the zone 5, but we're just not seeing those quality opportunities, and certainly when we do get those chances, they're not falling for us right now. So they got to stick with it. We have 2 new looks in our power play, and they look great in training, and we'll just keep building on it.
They always say the cliche is, big games can turn seasons. Do you think this could be the big game?
You know what? I think that we've been in this position before. We've certainly seen glimpses of this club as offense opening up. We saw it against Cardiff. We saw it against these guys tonight, and a couple other times throughout the season. Confidence is a big thing in hockey. It really is, and we got to go down to that Cardiff building tomorrow and follow it up. It's important that we follow it up. If you want to climb this table and not be mired down by the middle of the pack, then we have to start stringing some wins together.
Just earlier this week as well, you announced the team's captains for the rest of the season. What was your thinking behind that, giving it to those guys? Yeah,
well, we've had a working relationship with those guys now for a while. We wanted to make it official when they got the letters on their chest and moving forward. I think it's, we have a number of guys that lead by example in this club. We have a number of guys whose voices are heard in the dressing room. Those are 4 guys that, play a big part and, not only the on-ice momentum, but also the off-ice. I think Livingston, personifies a professional athlete in as much that he goes out there and he plays hard every night, generally doing the right things. And certainly in the room, he's not afraid to hold guys accountable. It's important, for the coaching staff. That's a big part of our job, but they also need to hear it from within their ranks sometimes. And if you have a respected voice in the room, as well as our assistant captains who are all respected as well, it makes for a strong leadership group.
There's a reason why it's been not until now we've made it official, so we're used to seeing it at the start of the season.
Yeah, well, as I said, we really had a working relationship with those four near enough right at the start of the season. You got to get a feel for who's coming in and how's the room gelling and who kind of steps up and takes those positions. But, we don't always do the fastest movement around here. It took a while to get the letters on the jerseys, but it's important. Like, we haven't had a captain now for 2-3 years, I believe it is. It's important that room has a group of leaders that speak for them on the ice, and in the dressing room, and stand up to be accounted for. And I think all four of those guys are more than capable of doing it.
I mentioned obviously go to Cardiff tomorrow, but thinking ahead to next week, we welcome Manchester here. Obviously, we're aware of what happened the last time Manchester were here. Does that come into your thinking for that game?
No, not at all. I mean, today's game is significantly different from when I played back in the days. I mean, those things were probably a regular occurrence for any hockey fan that was here through the late 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s. And I, you know what, I know entertainment value, certainly in the UK. A lot of people cry out for that. But, it's for the better. It's player safety is now a huge thing. I think that all young players recognize the importance of longevity in their careers and playing the game hard, but also keeping safe out there through unnecessary play out on the ice. The incident with Manchester could happen with anybody, any team, when emotions are running high. I mean, that's ancient history, and it's a new season and we move forward.
Thank you very much, Todd. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.